What is going on YouTube? Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff and Advanced Fibonacci TA. Guys, I know the burning question on all of your minds is, which is uglier? The chart on my screen with this price action or my mustache? But there is a third option. It could be this shirt from 1993. For the older people watching this, such as myself, you may remember this brand, OP, Ocean Pacific. Literally, I found it in a box in the back of my closet. So 1993. So I haven't seen this shirt in a while, probably since early 2000s. So I thought I'd put it on for you guys so that you know I like these hideous Hawaiian shirts. So let's talk about the price action, guys. This week I'll be releasing an Inflation Nation video after the Fed meets. I want to see if we get surprised with the 0.5 or 0.75 rate hike, or if we get the pre-forecasted 0.5 rate hike, okay? If we get that 0.75, everything's dumping. Telling you that now, everything will dump, okay? Because the market hasn't baked it in yet. If we get 0.5, you could potentially see a market rally, which is crazy, on the back of 40-year high inflation and the lowest consumer sentiment index score in the history of the report, going back to 1978, the year I was born. Just let that sink in a second. Consumer sentiment from the University of Michigan is so bad. It's so bad that it's worse now than it was in 2008, the great financial crisis. It's worse now than it was in the dot-com bust, which companies literally went bankrupt and people lost a ton of money. It's worse right now than it was at the peak of the pandemic. That's the consumer sentiment. So could we be set up for a Black Monday? I mean, that's a possibility. It hasn't happened yet. In 1987, we had a sell-off on a Friday, on a Monday, peak sell-off, okay? Just nasty sell-off on a Monday. That became Black Monday. It is in market cycle equities lore, okay? Could we be setting up for that, knowing that the Fed's meeting this week as well? It could be, but we could also just be trading in a range. Guys, today we're going to focus on the price action because I want to get my Inflation Nation video out for you and save a lot of the good stuff for that. But you guys know the score if you've been watching this channel. So let's look at the NASDAQ really quickly because Bitcoin tracks so closely to it. And this is very important. This is the Wyckoff trading range we had, and as you can see, it tracked literally textbook Wyckoff, okay? Selling climax candle, automatic reaction, came down to our base for a retest, got some down thrust, sign of strength. We exited the trading range, try to make our cup here in the LPS. This was setting up for that potential CPI rally if the number came in lower or at expectations. Expectations were 8.2. Of course, it came in at 8.6, and it got, as you guys know, we were targeting the long-term moving averages. But that number came in hot and it dumped, and it's down here in pre-markets. It's already down 1.63%. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to stay down at open, but this is a early indicator that it could be a red day. Now, having said that, we're still in our Wyckoff trading range. This could end up being a down thrust and then volatility, come back up, maybe make a lower high, Fed meeting, see what happens there. If we can stay in this range, again, with that 0.5 rate hike is insane as it sounds. I feel like I'm living in bizarro world. You could actually have some type of rally form off of that just because you could, because it doesn't make any sense. 43% of all the buying in indexes is done by bots, okay? So remove human emotion from that. But people see prices on things like DocuSign lost another 24% on Friday. I think it's down 80% off its all-time high now. The tech space is getting just destroyed. ARK ETF is getting destroyed, but people may find some reason to be bullish. But guys, this is all short-lived, as you know. As I keep saying, we are trading in the largest bubble in the history of this country, okay? We have an equities bubble, a bond bubble, a crypto bubble, and a real estate bubble. You don't want to be in this market long. All these rallies, if they do ever come, will be rallies to sell. This is a very weak 8-9% rally, and it already fell apart. We'll see if we can hold this structure. Now, this is important because if we can hold this structure, going back to Bitcoin, if we can hold this structure, let me go to the daily, Bitcoin can potentially hold at least the bottom of its structure. As you can see, it's just dropping right now. It's at 26,872. Very red, but remember, this was a very volatile drop. So our base for Wyckoff down here is at 25,338. Let's go back to the weekly really quickly, guys. Guys, also, this video is brought to you by BITGET, where I trade all of my cryptos. And by SimpleFX, where I literally trade everything else: equities, commodities, and Forex. SimpleFX has a fantastic instant bonus. It is a double bonus up to $5,000. And BITGET has up to a $4,163 bonus. And we have a private tournament that will be starting soon. I will be giving you more details this week on that, actually. So look at the video description for all the details for both of those if you're interested in trading either of them. And you can also find my SimpleFX tutorial in the video description as well. All right, so let's look at the weekly, because I want to show you guys this once again. The 233 weekly moving average is roughly 24.8, and the 200 is roughly 22.4. If this does descend, if Monday opens up really nasty in the equities, you could see Bitcoin come down to the 233 and then the 200. Okay, you have to pay attention to that. People are asking me in the comments about this B wave projection, and no, guys, this is not Elliott wave. This is my price pulse pattern using a Gann market pattern, and I married it to fibs. And again, this is the same pattern Bitcoin did last bull run. 3 impulse waves, ABC correction. But the way I got these targets, people are asking, because my targets for the B wave here would be 40,694, 45,438, and 50,182. They may not come to fruition if we descend further and then bounce back up. So the way I got these targets was from this market low here up to the all-time high, down to this current swing low, and you can see that was my 3D2, my 0.5, and my 618. So let's go ahead and remove that, and let's move this wave forward, guys. Let's get this forward wave to see if we get some better projections that might make more sense, that may come into play. Now you can see the 618 is at 34,798. Again, that's a number we've been talking a lot about on this channel. Lots of resistance at 34,798 on the daily, right? And at the 40K level, which is now the 1 fib, 40,645. So this might be a better B target, 34,798, as well as 40,645. But we'll see. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how deep Bitcoin retraces. Let's see if the equities can hold their Wyckoff structures or if they fall out of them. If they fall out of them, may have to make some weekly adjustments here. And here's another way to view the weekly, guys. Again, with our GANFAN, our 45 angle, you can look at our videos. My GANFAN video got over 4,000 views, I think, which is phenomenal for a video about GANFANs. So really appreciate that, guys. So if you haven't watched it yet and you want to learn how to lay these fans out, definitely check it out. I don't put weekly in Wyckoff typically because obviously it takes a week to get a candle, but this is what it would look like right now. And as you can see, we're kind of coming down to test the bottom of that quadrant here in the Wyckoff trading range. Here's your selling climax, very clear selling climax. Look at that demand wick, and then your reaction back up, and now you have your up thrust, and now you have a sign of weakness, and now you're coming back down. You want to try to bounce off of one of these two moving averages if you do come down here, okay? Or if you get below them, hold this fan, and then remember, these would be resistance to you, and that's a very dangerous situation if you do get below the 200 and 233 long-term moving averages on the weekly. Again, guys, remember, my market ending pattern here is 10,591, okay? 10,591, and again, if we pull in all this price action, you will see that peak volume, including with the previous bull run, peak volume has Bitcoin at roughly, let's see, roughly 9,500 if I just narrow it to that pattern. Right there, there we go. 9,500, 9,400, somewhere in sub 10K Bitcoin is what I've been saying, okay? Sub 10K Bitcoin. And again, with a bubble, guys, you always go below long-term trend. That's just the way that it is. 1929, 1972, .com, and now. So this is the biggest bubble we've ever had in our country's history with the multiple asset classes. The first bubble with multiple asset classes. So I wouldn't expect Bitcoin to just hold 9,500. Again, my target is 3,800 for Bitcoin. And I'm going to update all that stuff in the Inflation Nation video for you guys. Lots of people asking for it. And again, it's just based off my TA, guys. It's just what I see in the marketplace. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Looking at the daily, Bitcoin is descending, as you can see. Again, here's our range. Let's throw some indicators on here really quickly and see what we're looking at. Let's see if the caterpillar is showing any more compression and volatility. And not really. It's still kind of, that's a reverse engineered RSI. It's still kind of expanded. Let me see what my zigzag's showing, my Donchian. Donchian, we fell at the bottom of the range. So we didn't hold our range as well established. As you can see, long-term moving averages above us. Let's see what else we have here on the daily. Probably not a whole lot that's going to be of use. We need to look at the more current price action. But our cloud's going to be getting thicker, guys. It's going to be descending, okay? So here's your cloud's going to be doing something more like this now, as Bitcoin is going to be trading down in this range. Again, it's just going to keep impeding you. And here's that 618, guys, 34,798 based off that daily wave projection. And your 233 and 200, just like we were talking about the weekly, the one fib at 40,645. So again, these would probably be my most likely targets now for any type of rise when Bitcoin does find a bottom, when the equities do find a bottom. Oh, let's look at the indicators here real quick for volume. So volume's still pretty low. I mean, we're barely getting above the EMA cloud. RSX is still pretty much at the median line, and volatility is just now starting to expand. Okay, the channel's just opening up. So Bitcoin, if this momentum continues, you see how this channel can get? If this momentum continues, you'd have room on the daily to go down. Okay, you got room on the daily. So right now we're being held up by this GAN fan. So if you see this, again, look at, you found support right on that GAN fan. So again, if these equities come down tomorrow, Bitcoin looks like it's coming down. It looks like it's going to come down and test 338. If it can come down that much, we got to see what the markets do. Or they could rebound, guys. They could be down thrusts outside their trading range. So we'll have to see. 8-hour time frame. Let's check the indicators here first. 8-hour time frame. Volatility channel is expanding. RSX is nearing oversold. You see this? It's nearing oversold. But again, you know, with the daily having room to run, this can come down. You can come down with your RSX and be oversold. Looking at the volume, again, like I said, you're above the moving average cloud, but you want candles like this for bearish or bullish, okay? You want breakout candles, high relative volume, multiple standard deviations away from mean, from trend, okay? And let's look at our cloud here as well and see what we can see. So looking at our cloud, I mean, so unfortunate. I was so disappointed that we did not take advantage of this situation where we could punch through the weak part of the cloud. The cloud is red now. You got a Kumo twist in here. This will start to fatten up and the cloud will start to expand as Bitcoin descends. The cloud will come down further. And then, you know, if you stay down too long, you get a big thick cloud. If we can bounce back up, hold this area, maybe we can keep it kind of thin and give us some ability to rally up at some point, okay? 4-hour time frame, everything looks pretty ugly. Okay, 4-hour time frame. Once again, we're holding key GAN fan support, as you can see, and we're ping-ponging between the two fans. Remember, when you fall through a fan, you have a bias. Here's your back test on your fan. You have a bias to come test the other side. Okay, it's just a bias. It's like a magnet. Fall through, test the base. I mean, you can see it over and over again. Fall through. You don't quite get there on this initial downfall, you pump back up, and then you test your base. So over and over again, you see it. So just understand how to use these fans. They are fantastic tools. Let's look at the indicators here, guys, and I'll wrap this video up. And of course, I'll be making a video tomorrow. I'm really curious to see how the equities open. So it may be a late morning video. Maybe I'll do it around lunchtime, do a morning recap. Volatility channel is expanded here, 4-hour time frame. And let's see what our cloud looks like here as well. The cloud is getting fatter, and see, this is what it's going to look like on the 8-hour. This is going to be descending and getting fatter, and of course we are below the 45 angle, which is going to hamper us from our ability to move up. But it's all going to, let's look at the Russell really quickly. The Russell's at 1782. I mean, everything opened up down. The Russell's down 1.15%. The NASDAQ, I mean, I think it's dropped more since we've been talking. It has 1.70%. Again, doesn't mean that at market open, it'll continue to decline. Many times it reverses. But remember the sentiment. Friday, sell-off, hot inflation numbers. Monday could be continual decline. Wednesday, Fed meeting. We don't know what they're going to do. Could come out with a big fat rate hike that really, really terrifies the market. So look forward to my Inflation Nation video, guys. I will update bubble targets. I will update TA, and I will go over the market news and probably throw a rant or two in there. All right, guys, have a fantastic evening. Talk to you tomorrow. Watch those markets. Happy trading, everybody.